Hey Fit Leaders, it's Leticia Skae-Jackson. I hope you are doing pretty good during your quarantine. I know it's not the best situation, but I thought it'd be pretty cool if we could go through a couple of recipes because I bet you're gonna have to get some really creative recipes now that we're stuck at home for the most part. So here's something that people have been asking me about. They've been asking me about my kale chips. It's a really easy recipe and it actually does not take that long. So we'll start with our ingredients first. As you can see here, I've got my kale chips. They're organic, they're from Aldi. It's my favorite place to shop. Also, if you look right here, I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I've got seasoned salt, and I've also got onion powder. Now, the onion powder you don't have to do if you don't like onion powder. I love it because I like a little bit of flavor in my chips regardless. And then the seasoned salt is always really nice because it's got more flavor to it than regular salt. But if you like regular salt, of course, you can do regular salt. I just like my things a little spicy. So step 1 is to get a wonderful flat pan like this. You want a really wide baking pan because you want to be able to lay all of the kale down flat. That's what we'll do right now. All right, so you can see I've laid this out pretty flat, but that's not the only thing we're gonna do. We actually have to remove these big fat stems right here. See those big fat stems inside there? We have to remove them. So the best way to do that is to pluck them out when they're in the pan. I don't like to waste, so I like to keep these stems and I put them in my protein shakes later. The reason it's important to get these big fat stems out is because what happens is they soak up a lot of water, and so they'll keep your chips from getting real crispy. Step 2, add all of the ingredients. All I like to do is go ahead and pour the oil over, and you just want to drizzle it and make sure that it evenly coats. Next, we've got our seasoned salt. Sprinkle it light. Or if you like things a little salty, you can sprinkle it a little heavier. This one's up to you. Last, onion powder for me because I love my stuff to have a little bit of a kick. Another just sprinkle. And then you're gonna toss it lightly. When you toss it like this, again, you're making sure that everything gets covered. You're also making sure that the oil has evenly spread out on the pan because you don't want any of your kale chips to be without that oil. They'll start to burn in the oven. I've got my pan, I'm ready with my kale. I have this temperature set at 375, and I do have a convection oven, which is important to state because it does have a tendency to heat up very quickly. We're gonna put that in there for 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we should have some crispy kale. All right, notice how they have shrunken. It's always a little bit of a surprise, but after you get over that, I promise they'll be crispy and delicious. I just have to scoop them up, put them in a bowl, and then serve them. By the way, if you're making for a large group, you might want to make 2 pans of this. Otherwise, they go pretty quickly. And that, my friends, is how you make kale chips. Enjoy. Ooh, that one's crunchy.